10 toes down on them highways every Saturday and Friday, yeah.
Got it? Go ahead.
This is 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 11. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which God giveth, that God in all things may be glorified through Yahushua Mashiach, to whom we be praised and dominion forever and ever. Amen.
So that's what we out here doing. We preaching the oracles of God. We bringing it out precept by precept to be able to try to edify the sheep that Yahweh, while Yahushua in all things be glorified. So first off, I like to say all praises to the Most High by way of His Son, who the world calls Jesus, that be called Lord Yahweh by Hashem Mashiach wa Malak Yahushua. Right? So bring that up. Then,
this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 4.
Okay. Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, sister?
All right.
You had a question?
I'm good in my word, but I see y'all. Okay.
All right. So let me ask you this: what would be your nationality?
I'm black. I was born and raised in Philly.
You black? That'll be problematic. You know, your whole outfit is black. You're not black.
I'm not black.
You're not black. That's not what the Lord called us, right?
Okay.
That's just a color in the crayon box.
Mm-hmm.
So what we out here to tell our people is that we'll be Israelites according to the Bible. That'll be our God-given nationality. Have you ever heard that?
I've heard it.
Do you believe that?
I mean, my DNA say we come from Africa, right? So I'm from Africa.
Galatians 4:26.
Yeah, I'm from Africa.
All
Senegal, right. Congolese, Nigeria. That's what my DNA traces back to.
So like West Africa.
Yeah, West Africa.
Right.
Where most of us are from.
Right. Mm-hmm. Bring that up.
Galatians chapter 4 and verse 26.
28.
But Jerusalem, which is above, is free,
Amos 3,
which is the mother of us all.
Right. So we all come from Jerusalem. You know, our people, that's where we come from, right? So we're not African. That came way after the fact. After somebody conquered the land, what's his name? Africanus. Yeah, Africanus. After he conquered the land, that's when that was changed to Africa. It wasn't called Africa at first. And then we're not the same as African people, right?
No, we are not. It is true.
Right. We're totally separate. Give me that in Exodus. What is it? 11 and 7. You got it? What's your... Yeah, or from the top. Con, you can grab it.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel.
Right.
Against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Right. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Right. And he's saying Israel is the only nation that he's known. You know anything about the story of Moses? What you said you in your words. I know you know.
My word, yeah.
Right. So with the story of Moses, he brought his people up out of the land of Egypt, which would be the Israelites. Right. And the Lord is saying, you only have I known dealing with that nation. But give me that. Got it?
Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
So Egyptians would be basically so-called Africans, right? Mm-hmm. And he said he put a difference between us. We two total different people. That's why that they don't really fool with us like that, like a true African. You know, like a lot of them out here in this city, they out there in A-Leaf, Southwest area. But they don't look at us as we the same people. They look down on us, right? Right.
We mixed up because they got a hold of us and we got over here in 1719. Yeah.
One more on that.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes.
Right, and that's what we'll be identified as, the Negroes. And like he said, he one of the 3 sons of Noah, because it'll be Ham, Shem, and Japheth. The children of Israel will come from Shem, the so-called Negroes, right? Keep going.
But the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
Right, so that's who Ham would be the progenitor of, the so-called Africans. So we different. We're a whole different people, right? So, yeah, bring that up.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people.
Right. He talk about the Israelites. You already said yourself who his chosen people is, right? Go ahead.
Unto himself, above all people,
right,
that are upon the face of the earth.
He said he placed us above all people that are upon the face of the earth. He created 18 nations. Out of all the nations, he chose us. We're his favorite, right? So even with, I don't know if that, with shoes, I don't know how many you got, but I imagine you have a favorite pair of shoes that's in the closet, right?
I got 2.
2? Oh, well, okay.
I'm a minimalist. I ain't gonna spend my money on just. I'm paying for
But out of those 2, you got a favorite, right? That you put above the others. So it's the same thing with the Lord. He showed favoritism to his people. And let me show you one thing why it's important. Why it's important to try to see what nation that you come from. How the importance of being an Israelite. Bring that up.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 1. I say the truth in Yahweh Christ. I lie not, my conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit.
Right. So real quick, Yahweh Shai, that'll be Jesus' name in the Hebrew. Because his name wasn't Jesus. Jay didn't come to like the 1500s, right? Just try to, so go ahead.
Verse 2, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
Right. This Paul talking about he wish he could be accursed from Christ for his kinfolk, his people according to the flesh. Who is it?
Who are Israelites.
Right.
To whom pertaineth the adoption.
So the adoption process, to where it says that he gonna bring the people that was not a people and bring them back in, that would be pertaining to the Israelites. That's not pertaining to them other nations, right? Go ahead.
And the glory.
And the glory of the Father is the Israelites. Go ahead.
And the covenants.
And the covenants. That's old and new covenant. It pertains to the Israelites. Go ahead.
And the giving of the law.
And the giving of the law, right? Go ahead.
And the service of Yahweh.
Doing the services of God. We out here on the streets teaching the word, trying to wake our people up. We doing the service of the Most High God. Go ahead.
And the promises.
And the promises. Each promise that he made was for the Israelites, right? Go ahead.
Who's our fathers, and of whom, as a concerning the flesh, Christ, Yahweh Shah came.
Right. And who, as concerning the flesh, Christ came back for. So when they say salvation is for everybody, it's not. It's exclusive to the Israelites. That's why it's so important. But I want to show you without a shadow of a doubt that you would be one, because you say you iffy about it. You still saying that you black.
Yeah.
All right, let's get it.
I don't know where y'all from. Where I'm from, yeah.
I mean, okay, if we got a job application, yeah, we're gonna have to check off a box. They're not gonna have Israelite on the application.
I'm not African American. That's like an insult.
Right.
That's me first.
Cause that's too.
Because they'll say Italian American, they'll say German American. So that's why I say I'm black. I'm not African American. I'm Salih. I was born and raised Nation of Islam. Got saved later on, but I'm black. I understand what y'all saying, and yeah.
All right. So let's try to clear that up,
Okay.
right? So Deuteronomy 28:1.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. Bring it up. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So this Moses talking to the Israelites, right? Telling them what the Lord told him to tell them, right? Go ahead.
To observe and to do all his commandments. which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God.
Keep going. All right, bring it out from the top again.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments.
So if we'll listen to the Lord as Israelites to do his commandments and obey him, right? Go ahead. What'll happen?
Which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high, above all nations of the earth.
Right, so if we just listen to the Lord, he'll set us on high above all nations of the earth. But we can look at how we living in our societies that we're not set up on high. So apparently we didn't listen, right?
Right.
Give me Daniel 9 and 10, but get verse 13 real quick. This is one of the blessings that we'll get if we was to listen to the Lord. Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 13. And the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail.
Right, but we the tail of the society. We're at the bottom of the totem pole, so we know that we didn't listen. But go ahead.
And thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. If that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee this day, to observe and to do them.
Right. So it says we'll be above and not beneath, but all these other nations got their foot on our neck.
Yeah.
Stuff like this is a prime example, and we don't get proper justice for any of these things, right? All right. So I'll bring that out real quick. Daniel 9 and 10.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 9, chapter 10. Obey the voice of the Lord our God, to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants, the prophets.
Right. So we haven't walked in the ways of the Most High God. Go ahead. It's a little more on that, I believe.
Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law.
All Israel, right? Go ahead.
Even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us.
Right. So therefore, we got to suffer these curses. So these will be the curses. I'm going to give you like 3 curses. I don't know how much time you have, but I'll try to make it quick.
I'm going to a conference, but go ahead, I'm listening.
All right, I'm going to give you 3 of them. So start at 45. Deuteronomy 28 and 45.
It's Deuteronomy 28 and verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, so thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
So all this happened because we didn't listen to the Lord and we didn't keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, right? Yes. Go ahead.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
So these curses are going to be upon us for a sign. So I know that we right here off Lamar and LaBranch because it's a sign. Or if I turn around right here behind me, I can see that this is Discovery Green and we in the heart of downtown Houston, right? They say these curses are going to be up on us for a sign. So we'll be able to identify who we are, right? So that's why I'm about to bring out these curses to try to show you, try to see that our people and our people only go through these curses, right? And that's how we got that distinction, and we know without a shadow of a doubt that's who we are. So give me I'm gonna get that last 16, verse 16. Yeah.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So I already kind of touched on that. We know how we living in the city. Where you say you from?
I was born and raised in Philly, but I live in Dallas.
So, I mean, in both cities, you know, in Dallas, South Dallas, and, you know, some of these hoods, you know what I'm saying, or in Philly. You know how people would live in Philly, right? Same thing down here in Houston with your 3rd Ward, 5th Ward, Acres Home, South Park, any of these hoods, that's where our people majority at. We either in the hoods, ghettos, you know what I'm saying, or the prison houses, right? So we cursed in the city, then it says cursed in the field. I mean, that's obvious. We know our history and what happened to us. We was cursed in the field, right? Even to this day, you know, if you think about the work field, same thing. Like we the last one hired, first one fired, right? So no matter which way you look at it, that's a direct thing to us. Then 37. Give me 37. We got a IG, a YouTube, email. We got an email address. Break it up.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
Right, so astonishment, you know what that is? It's something that'll down there leave you in awe or whatnot. Right, so it's like the way our people carry themselves, the way some of our sisters out here half naked, the way a lot of our brothers sagging their pants off, they, you know what I'm saying? The way we you know, we think that I believe that we're the nation that's the most highly inebriated. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We always dependent on some substance. Yeah. And then like my brother always bring out, it's like as far as all these things have happened to us and our people, right? But the only people that we attack and go after is our own, right? We don't try to get no get back for nobody else, but when somebody else come at you, then what? You know what I'm saying? Another nation is just like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? So,
man, this has been an eye-opener, real talk. So y'all got some information to give me?
Let me give you two more. Yeah, he got a flyer for you, but let me give you two more, real quick. Oh, appreciate you. Huh? All right, so it said read 37 again.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
Right. I'm gonna wait till you're done. All right, so he said, will become an astonishment, a byword, and a proverb among all nations. So I explained astonishment, a byword. So like when you walked up, you called yourself black. A lot of our people call it ourselves African American, a descendant of slaves, colored, Negro, whatever you think about. Those are all bywords. Anything outside of your God-given nationality, right? And then a proverb, one of the main ones that's upon us is if you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in the book. And that's utterly true, right?
It's sad, but
pretty much, yeah, sad but true. Yeah, but yeah. With other nations, like think about a proverb on the other nations. Do any of the other nations have Right. So that would make that curse, because we're the one that is an astonishment of all the other nations, have bywords put upon us as well as, you know, proverbs, right? Go ahead and go to 68, because she about to get ready to get up out of here.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Right, so it says the Lord shall bring us into Egypt again with ships, right? But with the story of Moses, we walked up out of there. We walked up out of the land of Egypt. Moses parted the Red Sea by way of the Most High God, and then our people walked through. So, but we didn't need a ship. We could have walked around. That was the quickest way out and the quickest way through. So he said he's going to bring us into Egypt by way of ships. Apparently, you know what I'm saying, this is going to be another nation, but let me prove it. Go ahead, bring that up.
This is Deuteronomy 5 and verse 6. I am the Lord thy God, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage.
Right, so he describing Egypt as a house of bondage, a place of slavery, because that's what our people went through when we was in Egypt. We was made to be slaves, right? So when it says he's going to bring us into Egypt again by way of ship, saying we're going to be brought into slavery by way of ship, right? Go ahead, bring that back out from the top.
Verse 68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Because he told us where we wasn't going to see the physical landmass of Egypt again in the Exodus when we was, you know, when we had got up out of there. He said we wasn't going to come back to that physical landmass of Egypt. That's how we also know that this will be another nation that will be brought to by way of ships, which we know, like you said, you got Nigerian roots. All our people over there in the Western Africa, right? They came by way of the transatlantic slave trade by what? Ship, right? So, all right, keep going.
And there ye should be sold unto your enemies.
Whoa, now it say, there you shall be sold unto your enemies. What happened to us when we got here? Like right there. That was a actual flyer, you know what I'm saying? To be sold, cargo at Negroes or whatnot, right? So we're going to be sold to our enemies for what?
For bond men and bond women.
Slave man and slave woman, and what else?
And no man.
52 and 3. My bad, go ahead.
And no man shall buy you.
Right, and that buy is going into redeem, right? It's going into redemption, because no matter what movement came about, whether it was Marcus Garvey, Nat Turner, Black Panther Party, NFAC, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, it don't matter who it was, Huey Newton, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, all that, nobody was able to save us, right? Because it's going to be by way of the Most High God that's going to be able to bring us up out of here. We got to turn back to him, right? So bring that up. I'm going to prove that it's talking about that, because some people try to wiggle up out of it, talking about what you mean no man shall buy you, when we got off that the slave ships, we was actually bought. So you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bring it up.
This is Isaiah chapter 52 and verse 3. For thus saith the Lord.
So this coming out of the Lord's mouth. Go ahead.
Ye have sold yourselves for naught.
You sold yourself for nothing, right? Because by way of our transgressions are we brought into this slavery and into these curses that we're facing. You sold yourself for naught. Go ahead.
And ye shall be redeemed without money.
You shall be redeemed without money, right? So that's going into our redemption. So I kind of sped it up because I know you got somewhere to go. From Deuteronomy 28 and 15 all the way down to 68. It's a plethora of curses in there.
Deuteronomy 15 to 68?
No, 28 and 15.
28 and 15, okay.
All the way down to verse 68. So with those three that I gave you, do people go through that? Right. So that will make you a what? According to the Bible. Because that's who the Lord is talking to. The Lord will be talking to the Israelites. So if we the chosen ones, who are we? Yeah, what nation of people are we?
What?
I'm typing this in my notes so I can, when I go do my reading tonight, I can read over there. Deuteronomy 28:15, right?
Right. 68.
Y'all have been a blessing to me, brothers. Thank you. It's good to see y'all out here doing y'all thing. It's a good look. I appreciate
it,
God
but
bless y'all.
The most important thing I want you to leave with when you walk out, who are you? What's your nationality?
According to the Bible.
Israelites.
That's
right.
God bless y'all, brothers.
It's information on that flyer. Check it out. Tap in with us, please. All right. I ain't have time for the commandments, but what? Oh yeah. Con. All right, so let's go to let me get what you call it? Let me get Sirach 1 from the top.
This is Sirach chapter 1 and verse 1. All wisdom cometh from the Lord.
Right, that's what we got to understand. All wisdom coming from the Lord. But of course, the wisdom of this word and not of this world. Because we know that the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High God, right? Go ahead.
And is with him forever.
Right.
Who can number the sand of the sea and the drops of rain and the days of eternity?
Come on, let us, man. Come on, let us.
Give us 5 minutes, King.
All praises.
All right. What's your name, man?
Jerry.
You said Gerald?
Jerry.
Jerry? Yeah. All right. I'm Jamaica, man. So what would you identify? What would be your ethnicity, right?
Judah.
Okay, so you already knowing. So you know you're an Israelite. According to the Bible. Right, so if you know that you're an Israelite according to the Bible, what should we be doing in these last days? What you say?
Getting right with the Lord, right?
Getting right with the Lord. But how do we get right with the Lord? All right, so let's get it. So go ahead and bring that up, that you was about to bring up. Come. Can't find it. So basically what we should be doing, like I said, is serving the Most High God and obeying him. But not how we feel fit to obey him, right? It's got to be by way of what this book say, what the word say. Give me Proverbs 3 and 5. You got it yet? Nah, it's Ecclesiastes. It's right at the, hold on. Right here. Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart.
Right.
And lean not unto thine own understanding.
Right. We gotta lean. We can't lean on our own understanding when it comes down to serving God. Right. We can't feel like, this is the best way I see fit. I'm gonna serve him how I serve him. He knows my heart. We can't move like that. Go ahead.
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths.
Right. So in everything that you're doing, you gotta acknowledge the Most High God, and He will direct your paths. You gotta, seek to this book for your counsel. Like they say, this Bible, basic instructions before leaving Earth. Right. This is our measuring stick. This is how we ought to live. Right. So one more on that.
Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil.
Right, so we got to fear the Lord, depart from evil. But the main part is, like it says, be not wise in your own eyes, right? So this is how we do it. You got it? Bring it up.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. Bring it up. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Right.
Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man.
Right, so fear God and keep his commandments. This is the whole duty of man. So we got to fear God. You know how to fear God? You got your apocrypha?
Yes, sir.
Sirach 19 and 18. And then you give me some commandments. Give me Leviticus 11. This is how you fear God right here.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 19, verse 18. The fear of the Lord is the first step to be accepted of him.
Right.
And wisdom obtaineth his love.
Right. Keep
going.
Yeah.
The knowledge of commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life.
Right. The knowledge of the commandments is the doctrine of life. This is what's going to get you that kingdom. So you got to know commandments. You got to be able to keep the commandments. Not keeping the commandments is why we're in the position that we're in now. Right? That's why we got these curses poured up on us. But if we come back to the Lord, how will we come back to the Lord? By doing his will, by keeping his word, through obedience, right? Keep going.
And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality.
And they that do the things to please him would receive the kingdom. That's basically what it's saying, right? Give me 2 and 15 real quick. One more on that fear. And then we're going to get some commandments. I know you said you ain't had that much time, brother. But bear with us. Because this can ultimately save your life, right?
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 15. They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word.
So that's part of the fear of the Most High God, not disobeying his word. Go ahead.
And they that love him will keep his ways.
Right, keep going.
They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him.
Right, you got to seek which is well pleasing to him. That's why I say, blessed is he that readeth. Right, you got to get in this book and you got to get some understanding. That's right. Go ahead.
And they that love him shall be filled with the law.
Right, so you got to be filled with the law. If you truly say that you love the Most High God, right? So we got to get some of these commandments up out of the law, right? Do you know any commandments, first and foremost? Let me ask you that. You know any commandments?
Just a couple.
Just 3 off the top of the head. You ain't got to go through all. You said not lie, steal. One more. Kill. All right. So how many commandments are there? That's one more question. I'm going to ask you that. All right. So did you know that not to lie is not in the 10 Commandments? Huh? I mean, well, yeah, that's the sin. I'm just saying it's more than, my point I'm getting at is it's more than 10, right? It's over 600. It's like 613 commandments that we ought to keep. Not lying is not in those 10 that they put on the tablet of stone, right? So let's get that. Leviticus.
That's like you don't know the rules and you breaking stuff that you don't even know.
Well, that's what you're right. The church house is setting us up for failure, right? So we got to come back to the word and to the Lord as the scripture saith, and not according to what some man said, right? 613, right? So let's get it. Leviticus 19:11, and then you stay there.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 11. Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another.
Right, so that's a commandment right there. Anytime, like the first 5 books of the Bible, that would be considered the law. Mosaic law, however they want to put it, the Torah or whatnot. But that's where the laws of the Lord is at, right? So in there, he told us that anytime that you see thou shalt not or ye shall not or thus saith the Lord, that's something that we ought to take heed to. So right there, read it one more time, my bad.
Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another.
So like you said, stealing, that's in the 10, right? But then it say deal falsely. So that's finesse. We can't finesse our people. We can't two-time our people. We can't swindle our people. We're not supposed to do that. And then it says neither lie one to another. So that's showing you that it's commandments outside of that 10 that they suppose, that they try to push on us, but they don't even keep it their damn self, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the biggest problems in the church would be like, adultery or things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? They also be stealing. It'd be people, like deacons and stealing from the church, all that type of stuff. They know, and these 10 they can't even keep. Nah,
No.
well, it depends on which way you put it. If you talk about a Christian by way of religion, then no, because we don't believe in religion. If you talk about a Christian as being a follower of Christ, as the book says, yeah, we will be considered Christian in that aspect, if that makes sense. Right. So,
12.
give me James 1. Nah, James 1, and I think it's like the last verse. Nah, is it? Hold on. Go to it.
27. 1 and 27.
1 and 27. Come on.
This is the book of James, chapter 1, and verse 27. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this.
So this is what religion is right here. We don't believe in religion. Go ahead.
To visit the fatherless and the widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world.
Right. So all these different denominations and religions that they done brought out is ultimately to keep us away from our power and from the Most High God.
That's right.
That's why I say, give me 2nd Esdras 8 from the top, real quick. Whoever got their pocket. And then I'm gonna get you a few more commandments, man. Esdras. I think it's before that. 2nd Esdras.
Which one?
8 from the top. He got it. And go back to Leviticus 11. All right, bring it up.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 8, verse 1. And he answered me, saying, the Most High hath made this world for many, but the world to come for few.
So he made the world for many, but he only coming back for a few people. So when it come down to this church, we look at the people that's in the church and feel like, man, they go to church every Sunday. They on their Bible study or whatever. That's a righteous individual, right? But Christianity, as well as Catholicism, as well as Muslim, which all our people fall in all 3 of them, they 3 of the biggest religions in the world, right? So that would be the multitude of people. The multitude of people are not being saved. The people that's being saved, the few that he coming back for, is keeping the scriptures as the book says, right? So go to bring that up. I'm gonna give you some more commandments. Let's see if you heard this.
This is Leviticus chapter 11
From
and
the
verse.
From the top.
This is Leviticus chapter 11 and 1. I bring it out. And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, speak unto the children of Israel, saying.
So real quick, Moses said to the Lord told Moses to speak to the children of Israel. You say you're an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. So it's talking to you, right? What the Lord say?
These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth.
So this would be the dietary law, right? This what we can and can't eat. Leviticus 11, all the way down to say what we can and what we can't eat.
Right.
The ones that we mainly transgress the Lord by eating, I'm going to bring those out, right? So give me 7.
It's Leviticus 11 and 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof, and be cloven-footed, that he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you.
Right, so it say the swine is unclean. What swine? Right. So do you eat pork? That's what